Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Tevis-Finn recording from room 114 on this lovely Friday. So let's get right into how does the South get back control from the Republicans. So under number one, guys, the Democrats try to redeem the South, right? They want to, remove the carpetbaggers and the filth and the vermin, the scalawags. So that means that they want to regain control of state and local government. So I have it right here in this first bullet for number one. So you just want to put down they want to regain control of state and local government. I have a question here. How do you think they do that? We get right into number two, the use of terror. So terrorist groups that we talked about last week, guys, were the KKK, and they're using them to intimidate African American and white Republicans. So let's keep going, guys. Under number three, they also participated in election fraud. So a couple examples would be such as stealing ballot boxes and even stuffing ballots with false ballots. So that's for number three. And so really at meetings such as this one pictured here, these groups are calling on all whites to redeem the South from black Republican rule. That's what they're worried about. Before we move on from this slide, guys, number four, put down three southern states. It'd be Louisiana, South Carolina, and Florida. They had the protection, you guys, of the Union troops, right? So blacks could vote, right, and they'd be protected. Only these three states, guys, kept the Republicans in the state legislatures. All the other southern states, guys, through fraud and intimidation, were able to kick out the Republicans. And one way we really see the election fraud is this compromise of 1877, so a presidential election. So you guys want to put down that the Republicans nominated Rutherford B. Hayes, pictured here. So for him, guys, put down that Hayes wanted to end Reconstruction. That was his goal. And you can also put down for the second bullet, he was regarded as very moral, and also he was free from scandal. Remember, the Republican Party had already had their share of scandal. They needed somebody squeaky clean. Next, guys, the Democrats nominated Samuel Tilden. He was a wealthy corporate lawyer, former governor of New York, who had, in New York, guys, tried to end corruption. So he is also running on a platform of trying to reform things. And so, guys, the next bullet you want to put down, because of election fraud, there were 20 electoral votes that were disputed. So it was not clear which candidate won, Hayes versus Tilden. So what happens is Congress has to appoint a 15-person commission. It needs to be balanced, right? So it's made up of House, Senate, and Supreme Court justices. And so you have 8 Republican and 7 Democrats. And that's exactly how the votes came, definitely along party lines, 8-7. So this is a very serious job this commission has. You guys should note that the decision would not be binding if either Congress or Senate rejected the commission's finding. But you guys want to put down, after much debate, several Southern Democrats joined the Republicans. Remember, the House of Representatives, guys, was Democratic controlled. So you want to put down on that bullet, after much debate, several Southern Democrats joined the Republicans in the Democrat-controlled House of Representatives and voted to accept the commission and accept the election of Hayes. Remember, guys, Hayes could not have won without the Southern support. So there seemed to be something else going on here. And so the outcome of this election, guys, was called a, quote, compromise, because many thought a deal had been made behind the scenes for the Democrats to accept Hayes. A promise had been made, guys, to remove federal troops out of the South if Hayes were elected, and this did happen. Once Hayes came to office, all the federal troops were pulled out. On the other side of the debate, guys, the country was tiring of Reconstruction. So perhaps it would have happened already. And you do want to note, guys, that Grant had already removed troops from Florida. So the question is, was it a deal? And the proof we have could be the removal of troops, or on the other side, maybe it was just bound to happen. So here's a political cartoon, and we'll practice analyzing this in our groups. And let's talk about the end of Reconstruction. Please take a look at this sketch. The Democratic platform is for the white man. The Republican platform is for the Negro. So I want you guys to put down under number 6, Hayes's inaugural speech, an important quote. Put down, guys, that he said, "We may have not merely a united North or united South, but a united country." Right? So he was really about putting Reconstruction behind us and going for the whole country being as one. And guys, number 7, without federal troops to support the Republicans, the last Republican governments in the South, guys, collapsed. So the Democrats won. And this really signaled the end of Reconstruction. So guys, now the Democrats can undo anything the Republicans have done, and they can do things their own way. So let's go on to the next page, number 8, guys, A New South. So guys, this is a phrase that meant the South had to move away from relying on the planter class. They really had to become industrialized. So a couple examples would be the railroads came, which were funded by the North. Industries such as iron and steel started to spread. And another part of the industry, guys, would be the cotton mills. Yet the South remained mostly the same. For example, African Americans could not own land. And next bullet, they returned to their plantations and would work for wages. Some became tenant farmers and paid rent for the land that they farmed. Most became sharecroppers, paying rent with a share of their crop, sometimes 1/2 to 1/3 of their crop. They had to buy supplies, and they had to pay on credit with interest rates as high as 40%. Crop liens were debts, so merchants could take the African Americans' crops to cover their debts. So African Americans were basically stuck in debt and could not leave these farms. So here's a picture of the sharecroppers. And I want to leave you with this final question. I'd like you to reflect in just 2 to 3 sentences. Were African Americans really free after the Civil War? Here's a picture of a family during Reconstruction. So really look at this photograph and please reflect on this question. This is Mrs. Tevis-Finn signing off. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday morning.